Drop everything and clear those ears. It's time for the Dave and Dave Show.
Hey, Marino!
Greetings, oh grasshopper from the north. How's everything in Jersey land?
You caught me right in the middle of some very intense Champions League kickball action.
Well, you're already with a W on the board. Congrats.
That's okay. Yeah, we're all right. Oh, you know what, though? I forgot to put the game on. Yeah,
Kelly's Heroes. I got the game on here.
it's a little recap. I am not going to recap last week's show. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to ignore it. I'm trying to ignore a lot of things that just happened in recent history.
Dave, it's a tough row, but we're mid through the season, especially the NFL's been tough. Our college football has been very good, and your soccer has been off the charts. You've had a couple of dips, but well above 70% in college picks, ladies and gents. This gentleman knows his kickball, and thank God for that, because I've benefited from it. NFL has been tough. We're still treading water. NCAA football, we're doing well, but kickball, I'm with you, brother. And we got Champion League today.
That is correct. Some really good matchups. Nobody can do anything about them right now, so we're not going to bore you with any of these details. Just we're very happy that Club Brugge, happened to just take down Aston Villa, who've been red hot in the Premier League. You want me to take a look? You want to talk about last week, or you want me to go right into this week's?
Let's go right into it. How many any kickball kicks for this weekend? But I can't believe
I do. I have one. I am actually going to stray. I am not going to focus on a game.
You're going to stray. Premier League. You're doing a Cairo thing? What?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ouch. All right.
Inside joke.
Anyway, yeah, kind of stiff neck. I'm going to focus on Serie A, the top level of Italian soccer.
Italiano, Serie A.
And I'm taking a look at the early game on Saturday on the East Coast here where I am. You got to get up and watch this game at 9:00 in the morning, but it's good. It's a good little preliminary before you get into the college football. So anyway, 9:00 in the morning on Saturday, Serie A. It is Venice at home against Parma. Parma kind of stinks on the road. They've been very hot at home, really hot at home. They're actually kind of the surprise team of Serie A this year. But anyway, Venezia, they just broke the ice. They won their first game a couple weeks ago. They're starting to play a lot better. They just played the top team in Serie A, which is Inter Milan, who are playing right now in the Champions League. Good game against Arsenal. Really should be a fantastic game. But anyway, I am going with Venezia straight up to win the game against Parma at 9:00 in the morning on Saturday, and that is plus 145. So that's my kickball pick of the week.
The nice pick, and such a tough league, that Italian league. Very aggressive, very physical. Soccer, football, but super competitive. It's a great league. I think right behind the Premier League, I think the Italian league has kind of moved up. And the Spanish league and French league, I think they've moved down a little bit. But a lot of respect for those Italians and their interleague. Get close to home.
Some people do have that ranked as the second best European league behind. Everybody pretty much regards English Premier League as the top league. They have the most money. They have real star players, so that's probably accurate. Although they get into, these Champions League games and everything, and they can run into some trouble, and a team from any number of countries can end up being the top team or the top club team in Europe in any given year. Looking forward to it. I'm enjoying these games today, although we got to do the Dave and Dave show. So here we go.
Let's go right to the college gridiron. I got a pick tonight. I don't know what you're looking at, but if you don't have anything, I'll jump right in there.
You have a pick tonight?
I do. And you know what I'm doing? I'm going back to the MAC. Our beloved MAC conference. You and I, been following these guys for years. We went 2-0 yesterday. We had the two dogs with Central Michigan and Ball State. Two home dogs. It was kind of like a gift. And I'm doing the same tonight, a home dog. You're telling me that Western Michigan... Yeah.
They did lose. They did both lose. And they guessed a couple of anxious...
But they're covered. right at the end, right at the hair of our chinny chin chin. We covered. But let's take the Broncos tonight, getting to the Western Michigan Broncos. They're a scoring machine, 52, 48, 34, 45, 59 points. Yes, their defense, I think they only play with 10. They gave up, 41 points to
want to get the ball back. They just want to let the other team score so we can get the ball back.
These are competitive games in this league, and that's why we took the points yesterday, And I know it's only 2, but I'll take the Western Michigan Broncos at home tonight, getting 2 against Northern Illinois.
I like that.
Well, where you go?
I didn't know which game you were going to take tonight, as a matter of fact, but I do like that pick. Western's, they're playing Northern, right? Northern Illinois?
Exactly. Yeah, the other game is
scared of Northern Illinois in this season, and the fact that they did bump off Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Yes, they did.
Doesn't scare you one bit, does it?
Well, the Huskies have been great, but I just see not only this year but last year a little dip in the program. It's super competitive. I like a home team in this case, but the Huskies are a respectable team, great program. I respect them very much. It's going to be a tough game, but we're going with the Bronx.
And Michigan went for Trump, and Illinois went for Harris. So maybe there's something there. You never know. A little mix of politics and college.
I see that. Little surf and turf. All right.
Here talking about.
Get away with it.
No, we don't talk about politics on this show. We talk about sports and sports betting. And, we'll talk about movies. Like I just talked to you about a great movie in Bruges. Bruges just came through for me in soccer. So check out the movie. It'll do you a world of good. You'll laugh.
A bunch of patties. Love Colin Farr. That one.
Serious Irish acting going on there.
All right, give us your number one pick.
All right, my number one pick, my first pick is actually, I have a Friday night game. I have a Friday game. I am taking the Wake Forest Demon Deacons +7 against the Cal.
Lay it on me, brother. Let's see.
Against the Cal Bears. Cal's had a good season. They've made us some money. A couple of games, including that game where they should have beaten Miami.
Right.
But again, I'm really looking at this as with this crazy these conference realignments with these teams expected to make these huge road trips. Ohio State goes out to Oregon and, hey, they get beat. They might be the better team, but they had to take that long trip and they had to play in hostile territory. Same thing here. Cal Bears, plus those guys, that's, University of California, Berkeley is a pretty good school. Those guys actually have to, go to class and shit.
Yeah.
This long road trip to North Carolina. And I like the points. I like the fact that Wake Forest has been competitive in a number of games this year. And I like them +7 against Cal. Friday night.
Long way to travel. You're right. And the opposite was true when Miami went to Cal. Cal covered. And, a little taste of medicine. That's a long way to travel. You're right. Okay, Cal, given 7, and you're taking the Demon Deacons +7.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with one of the top teams, and probably one of the top matchups in the Saturday selection. I know Carson Beck is getting, beat up. He's the new, they're bashing him. They're saying he's not a good starter. He can't lead a good team. Anyway, I like the Georgia Bulldogs against Ole Miss. They're going into hostile territory. But, I don't think, even though we had last week's game, we were against Ole Miss, I believe, when who did they thump? They thumped our South Carolina, I think it was. Ole Miss had they squashed Arkansas 63-31. Yeah, I had Arkansas.
Such a game, Howard time.
I just put a line through that because it was over in the beginning. It was 28-0. They changed their quarterback. There were 3 pick sixes and put a line through it. Take Georgia, give the points 2.5. A little too much hype on an overrated Ole Miss team, even though Paul Feinbaum loves them. Take Georgia. There's your solid team. -2.5 is my second pick.
I love to agree with you, but you just gave me my second pick, which is Ole Miss.
Ole Miss?
Yeah. It was a crazy stat that Carson Beck's throwing all these interceptions. It's the first time that a team won consecutive games against top 20 opposition, something with with 3 interceptions by the quarterback. First time it ever happened. Obviously, Georgia's a good enough team to withstand all these mistakes. He makes mistakes against this Ole Miss team, just like Arkansas did. He's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it. So I like Mississippi at home. I think
Enough said.
I think your quarterback's going to make a couple of mistakes, and that's going to be
All right.
Should be a
Let's see if your running Rebels got it. Got enough to get it done.
They're not running Rebels. They're stand tall and fight Rebels.
All right. Well, they better get to be running because that Georgia defensive line is going to be all over their quarterback. All right. So we got 2 picks in the book. We're going head-to-head number 2. I'll move ahead for number 3. I'm taking Bama. They got a week off. They're going into probably one of the hardest places to play, Baton Rouge, LSU. A definitely very overrated team. This is going to be a super tough game, especially at night. But they lost, LSU lost to a terrible A&M team. Well, I don't think really looked that good. Who has LSU really beat? The true Arkansas really showed up. They beat your Ole Miss. They beat my South Alabama.
Lost to USC. And
USC, how many losses they got? 5 by now? I don't know.
Got quite a few.
Yeah. Bama was dinged up. They've had a week off. Milroe, I think he's got his head, screwed on relatively right now. They're laying 3 on the road. I still like them. Take the favorite, Bama, going into hostile Baton Rouge.
All right. I did look at that game for a long time. I didn't have as much of an opinion as you do. Now, are you taking that game because it's an attractive game, or just you think it's a good bet? You think Bama?
Oh, it's a very good bet. No, I'm putting a couple of units on it. It's not just throw a fluffy up there for 1 unit, or as we do speed handicapping when there's 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So you got to have something, some action. No, I like Bama, especially the week off. I think they're concentrated. They have to win this game to get into the final 12.
Yes, they do.
LSU, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that coach is I think he's lost a little respect to the players. So that's a 2-unit game where my Georgia would be a 3. But yes, I do like the game.
Do you have a 5-star system game?
I do have a we're 5.
David, that one to last. Okay. My third pick is, again, kind of an interesting matchup to me. I think this is a pretty generous little spot that I'm getting here. I'm looking at Georgia Tech plus 11 against the aforementioned Miami. Who? You have Miami's schedule in front of you?
I do. And we both watched that game last week. And, of course, Duke was in it until the end of the third quarter. That 53-31. Yeah, we won't talk.
That was crazy. In it, dude. They were winning by 11.
Winning. Yes. Yeah.
Winning by 11 points, getting 21. You got to lose by 33 to lose. They lost by 30.
Yeah.
The
quarter 23 minutes
in the game.
And put my foot securely in my mouth, and we won't go over that. We both had Duke. We both lost. But it showed the true colors of Miami. You could see that they're definitely beatable.
They've been doing it all year. I want to spend a little bit of time on Miami's games this year, just because where are they ranked? Yeah, they're like practically top 5. They might even be top 5.
Who have they haven't been beating anybody ranked, right?
Okay, I'm looking at their schedule now. Even early on, they had a weird one early. Hang on. All right, so
Virginia Tech.
Oh well, that game was lost until they got replay, and they said the kids didn't catch it. Now, maybe I agree with it, but I don't know. I mean, on the field, they had lost the game.
Same with Cal. They could have lost that game at Cal. Same with Louisville, who we know are underachievers.
A little back. They started out the season. Yeah, I mean, what they played Florida early on, right?
Yes,
that was ugly. And now we've seen, Florida. They're really struggling this year. They're not a good team. That one doesn't count. Ball State doesn't count. South Florida, they smashed. Again, almost did lose the game straight up to Virginia Tech. Okay, fine. They win that one. Really should have lost the game to Cal, in my opinion. Watched most of that game. Anyway, they snuck out with a 1-point victory. Louisville, no excuse for Louisville not winning that game. That was 3 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Easily have lost. They survived every game. This one's going to be a little bit tougher than they think. I really believe that. And Georgia Tech, going to give them a little bit of a tussle here. So that's it. Maybe spent a little bit too much time on that one. All right.
What's the line on that, brother?
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not too much time at all. Because if you look at Georgia Tech, they did beat Duke at home, a 10-point victory, and they followed that up with North Carolina, not much. Yes, we both had them with Notre Dame, and they fell flat. And I think that Virginia Tech game was unfortunate on the road. But I think they're enough to stay with Miami. I like that pick as well because Miami is very overrated and very inflated top 5 pick. 5 on the coach.
Same money line, but I just feel like you get ripped off so bad on that money line from there, especially from these new
plus 300.
Get ripped off so bad. I mean, I got to be getting more than plus 300, 11-point underdog.
Maybe call Tony. Tony will give you a better one.
No,
Arturo Barrel.
I won't agree with Tech, I promise you. Money line Georgia Tech for Tony for sure.
All right. You're on the board. I got a no surpriser. I'm heading out to the Mormon land. With all my respect of all of you Utes out there in the mountains. BYU laying 4 against their cohort there, Utah. This is the Battle of Utah. It always is a battle, but not this year. BYU is the superior team. Yes, Utah's playing at home, but they're 1-4 in conference, 4-4 overall in the 1-4 in Big 12, 4-4 overall. Outside, BYU is superior offensively, defensively. That's a sneaky 4. Everybody's like, why 4? They're number 9 because it's the Battle of the Mormons. You're battling. You're doing battle. I'm taking Utah. Not an answer.
You have a brother on the other team that you don't even know about.
You have a brother you don't sit. Well, I'll tell you. Ride with dance with the girl that brung you, or ride them till they buck you. Whatever you want to say. Trend is such a trend, like you say. And I've been on the BYU train, and I'm not jumping off. Definitely not for this team.
Twin sons of different mothers in that game. All right. Battle of the Mormons. And I've already told you, my brother was born a Mormon, so I'm allowed to talk shit about it. You just wrapped up the college segment for me because it's like there's another song a lot.
Really?
That line doesn't make you suspicious at all, huh?
Of course it does. But how many times have we, been hoodwinked by these lines?
It's the BYU money that's getting hoodwinked.
It looks like easy money. Rodney Dangerfield, what are you doing?
Now, this team is running. These are the running Utes. The running Utes of Utah against BYU, +4. That's my last pick.
All right, so we're going head to head. And the Battle of Utah.
All
right, buddy. Where are we headed? Over to the NFL, correct?
NFL, the National Football League.
This is how it began.
I really, I looked at that Thursday game for a while, and I know what I'm going to take, but I'm not.
I'm with you.
I'm not taking them for the show. I'm not taking them for the show.
The one thing that you can look at Baltimore all they want. Their offense has been great, but their one seed, their one, the leak in the dike is pass defense. And God bless you. That's a nice IPA. Centennial.
Sponsor.
They made a pretty good Centenary
placement.
Anyway, we're starting off Thursday night. I'm going with the Bengalis. The Bengals heating up. They're heating up. And I think the vulnerability there with Baltimore, even at home, 6.5 I'm getting, just jumped up there. And I think if you wait around a little bit more, you'll probably get more. This would be something I wouldn't take right away, but I think the late money is going to be on the Ravens. Take the Bengals, Joe Burrow. He's going to wake up, and they're going to come down to earth a little bit there in Baltimore, the Harbaugh. Take the touchdown. Take it.
One thing that's funny about this game to me is that, especially as people with a few years under our belts, I look at Baltimore Ravens and I just immediately think defense. They had a great defense, but it was 25 years ago. This defense is for shit. And yeah, I think maybe your Bengals are going to be able to move the ball a little bit here. And that would be the side that I'm probably going to end up being on.
All right. Well,
I got it.
I don't know if I consider that one of your picks, but you're going that anyway.
It's not a pick.
All right.
You want me to go?
I do, my brother. That fine Irish sweater you got on there.
My exactly. I wore the green.
Now you're wearing a Pellegrin. Appreciate that. I might just have to. Thanks for nothing, by the way, Danny.
Actually, I'm using a little bit of an approach this week to pro betting that I think everybody should not necessarily use it for your selections, but be aware. Keep records of who you're playing, who you're taking, what kind of situations you're doing well in, not so well in, somewhere in the middle. But anyway, that's the approach that I'm using today. I'm taking a look at all the teams this year in the NFL where I've been doing fairly well overall on their games. In other situations, whether I'm doing well when I take them to cover, or if I go against them to cover. So it's sort of going to be my guide here. And the first team I'm taking is one that's been good to me. They weren't good to me on Sunday night, unfortunately. But they've been good to me before that. And it's the Indianapolis Colts. +4 against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills defense, very suspect. And I just think we're going to be able to hang in there with it. So that's my first pick of the week is Indianapolis +4 against Buffalo.
So this strategy that you're talking about, and I'm very interested in it. So you're saying, okay, we're at the halfway point. So you're studying against the spread, the teams that you were on only, and what's the record there? The team that you were against only, what's the record there? So you got to give field combined. Yeah, and combined, right? Yep. So not combined. Okay, so your individual teams, like me, I've been betting the Patriots this year, and I'm 1-8. I obviously don't have my radar correct against the Patriots, but like you say, your Colts, you're probably a strong 90%, where you really get a feeling whether you're betting for them or against them, whether they can cover or not.
Yeah,
and that's
I hesitate for a few moments at least on this particular game this week because of what I saw on Sunday night, which is Joe Flacco. I mean, I'd be more comfortable with Richardson going out there and making mistakes just because I think he has talent.
Even though we love
Joe. In the long run, he's their guy.
Yeah.
I don't understand this move at all. And that I feel the same way as you do. We love Joe Flacco in his prime. He's really, really, he was like a solid, good NFL quarterback. Put him on a good team, you're going to win a lot of games. And they did. Obviously Baltimore did. Super Bowl MVP, etc. You can't argue with the guy. And I like it. His sort of old school, not running around back there like an idiot, like Anthony Richardson. But anyway, I just don't think
it gets tired.
He shouldn't still be playing. He shouldn't still be in the league.
I'm tired.
So they've already decided they're going to make a switch against Buffalo or what. I don't think it would matter. And I even think Joe Flacco is going to be able to have a good game against Buffalo because that defense is vulnerable. Buffalo's defense.
They proved it. Miami ran up and down the field like nothing. They blew my...
Oh, yeah, that game. Miami probably should have won that game.
Yes. And you had the Dolphins, and I had the Bills. and I went down. I took the sour pill. All right, I like that, and I like that strategy. Pay attention, keep stats of how you're doing on each team for and against the spread, and then figure out what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, literally,
you're losing.
We're just past the halfway point in the season. All right, you're about halfway. So you have a good enough sampling of games right now where you can take a look at these.
Good sample.
Wow,
right.
I can't pick my ass on such and so a team. Well, then stay away from them. Stay away from them. And so I'm looking at the picks that I have. We limit ourselves to, maybe 5 picks a week on the show. So if I'm going to be on a team, I have to be doing well when I'm on them. If I'm going to go against the team, I have to be doing well when I go against them. And if you get a combination of both, and there's a couple of those games for me this week, which I'm kind of excited about. I'll be. I've been doing well on them, and they're going against the team that I've been good going against. Those are my 2, star picks of the week. I hope it works.
42-star system, buddy.
Oh yeah, right. That's my 42-star system for the week.
Well, I'm doing the dogs. I'm barking. I know the Bengals are not a home dog, but my next 4 picks are home dogs, which has not been profitable this year. But these numbers I like. They're nice and high numbers, 3 out of 4 anyway.
And we had to have a couple together.
Starting for the first time ever, I'm going against my blue. I'm taking the Panthers. Yes, I am. I'm just going to start getting calls from the in-laws right now. I'm taking the Panthers +6. They're hosting the Giants. The Panthers won. Hey, they had a winner. They beat the mighty New Orleans Saints last week. They're going to Germany, and I like them. I like them in between the Hofbrauhaus and the Wiener Schnitzel, and especially the Jägermeister. I think the Panthers prevail, getting 6 in Munich.
I stayed away from that game. I'm doing very poorly with both Jets and Giants games this year. So
especially across the pond.
I'm hesitating to go with either one of those bum teams, or even to go against them. I went against the Jets one time. I can't remember who they were playing, but I lost because the Jets decided to play football that week. So anyway, didn't go with that one. But
so you're staying away again in your strategy. The team, right? Yeah, you haven't really done well in either team. Just put it aside.
We're gonna see. I don't know if I have the Panthers on a stay away from list. I've done well playing against them.
All right.
When I looked at this game, I said no.
Because you've got poorly with the Giants, I know.
I've been doing with the Giants, whether I'm on them or against them. So that game, you took the Panthers, right? Against your boys?
I did.
I like your pick.
All right.
So I'm up. That's all. Well, that's not a home team dog, though.
No, it's not.
Even Europe.
No, it's not. But it's the dog, and I don't know. There could be some German ancestry in there somewhere. So, like I said, have a couple of Jägermeisters.
All right. I am going with. Hold it. Look at the schedule real quick.
No worries. I see the steam coming out of your ears there.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Minnesota. That game.
Minnesota. Minnesota is the afternoon game, I believe. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're in the morning. They're playing right next door on Jacksonville. 4.5. I have was the opening line. They're given 4.5, but
no, they're getting
down to 4. I'm sorry. No.
Yep.
Vikings are favored by 4 at Jacksonville.
To be honest, I did this earlier, and it was 5.5. I have 5.5 written down, but I got to go with the line that I'm looking at right now, which is on DraftKings. If DraftKings would like to sponsor the show, give us a call. Anyway, Jacksonville. Wow, that's down a lot. All right, I guess I like it more. Somebody's driving it down. Jacksonville +4 against Minnesota. Minnesota had lost 2 in a row going into that Sunday night game, and really,
yeah,
felt Indy should have beat him.
I know.
Thought Indy should have beat him. And that would have been 3 in a row. They're on the schneid that I predicted a while ago. With Sam Darnold as your quarterback, you ain't going anywhere. That team's not going anywhere.
They should have lost. I actually covered that game, but they should have lost. And Jacksonville should have won. They should have beat the Eagles last week. They covered. They blew my cover. I was on total favorites last week. They covered against the Eagles, losing 28-23.
Right. Well, we talked about that game a little bit. I had to give Jacksonville a little bit of credit for that game. I mean, they were down 16-0, right?
Yes, they were.
They could have rolled over and died. They're on the road against obviously a better team, the Eagles, and they didn't. And they had a shot to win that game. They had a shot to win that. Kind of, a few weeks ago when they played the Bears in London, I was like, Jacksonville might be the worst team in the league. They could be worse than the Panthers. Who knows? But recently they've come back and they've looked a little bit more solid. And I do like them in this game, especially at home against a Minnesota team that looks to me to be going into a little bit of a slide. All right. You're up.
All right. I like it. I'm staying with the Dogs, and this time they are at home because they're a little bit further south. The mighty Buccaneers from Tampa is hosting a team coming from just about as far as you can away, team to team. We're going from San Francisco all the way to the Bucs. Niners are getting a little more healthy, but not fast enough. The Buccaneers proved against the Chiefs that they can kind of hang around with everybody, and their defense is really not as bad because they were stopping the Chiefs. They just can't stop Patrick Mahomes in overtime. Probably should have gone for the 2, but we covered, and we're going to cover again. I'm getting 5.5. I'll take Tampa Bay against the mighty 49ers. We're not so mighty.
I like that pick. I really do. What was your first pick? Was the Panthers, right?
Bengalis, yeah. Bengals, Panthers.
Oh, no. Like Carolina, Bengals, Carolina, now Tampa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm with you on all 3, although none of them are my picks. So I'm up.
You are, my friend.
Hey, we did talk yesterday about Tampa Bay, though, and their effort against the Chiefs. And I'm having a hard time understanding how Tampa Bay has had some of these teams run up such big scores and tons of yards, and their defensive statistics are like at the bottom of the league. They look pretty tough.
Yes.
Those yardage situations, they were in there hitting people. It's the Chiefs. They got a lot of weapons, and they hurt them a lot of different ways, and that quarterback is just really hard to defend. But I like the effort, and I thought that there were situations where if they had a shot to tackle a guy behind the line, they tackled him behind the line. I can't tell you how many teams in this league don't do that, where they have a chance to keep a team, I hate this phrase, but behind the sticks, so to say.
Right.
And instead, the guy breaks their first tackle, ends up getting a few yards, sometimes more than a few yards, and they go from being in a deficit situation to to pick up easy first downs or whatever it might be. I thought Tampa's defense really played well against the Chiefs. So
I was surprised too.
I do like them against the Niners. The Niners are still, in my mind, a little bit of a mess, and I realize the injury.
Talk about a team that could have rolled over and died, and that was, Tampa Bay surged. They had the lead, and they gave up a couple of touchdowns, and they could have just rolled over. But then they marched down the field, tied the game, went into overtime, and it looks like their offensive coordinator does have some imagination. Couple of good calls there for the touchdown. Looked like a running play. It was a rollout right. He threw it in touchdown to tie it up. Yeah, I've been on Baker Mayfield from the beginning. You know that. And
oh boy, I'll ski a speed handicapping. We're actually going to have to get like 30 seconds for each one of the remaining picks. Okay, so my next pick is going to be speaking of home team dogs. I think the Dallas Cowboys have only been a touchdown or more underdogs at home 4 times in the last 20 years.
Ever. Right.
And
I'm with you. I'm
team dogs, they're on a roll. They've been put in this situation a few times in recent years. They cover almost every single time. Obviously, we're going to have a backup quarterback in there for Dak. but 7.5. And this is almost more, it's more, this is like a situational bet. And the fact that I still think Philly is a bit of a fraud. So here we go. Dallas plus 7.5 against Philly. Now, of Saquon running for 300 yards in this game and setting a new NFL record. But
no problem.
if you control them at all, they have a shot. Okay, you're up.
I'm with you in Dallas, so you got my last pick. I'm with you for all the same.
So that Dallas. Okay, so now it's my pick. Okay, yes. David.
Bring us home, Dave. Bring us home.
You took Dallas. Nice.
Home dog.
Now here, the situation is, this is one of my picks where I've been good taking this team to cover, being on them, and the team they're playing against, I've been good going against. So even this is a massively popular pick for the public, which as you know, I never take.
You are Mr. Contrarian.
Taking the Detroit Lions minus 3.5 against Houston. And there's a little bit of just common sense going on there with this pick too. Detroit might be the best team in the league, and they might be the only team that could take down KC. Ultimately, it would have to be in the Super Bowl. On the other hand, Houston have been doing it with mirrors. I mean, they really have. They looked shaky as hell in a lot of their games this season. They still have a good record. They're still leading their division, yes, but they're not blowing me away. Now, nowhere near the way Detroit's been blowing me away, looking really good. What they did going into Green Bay and they're a dome team going into shitty weather, and they look like the team that was built to play in shitty weather. We know they can play in a dome, so here they go on the road in Houston, inside. I think they're going to feel like, hey, we didn't score a shitload of points last week against Green Bay. Let's score a shitload of points today against Houston. So that's my pick.
Against
3.5 against Houston. Okay,
I like them too, Dave. That's all the time we have in this beautiful episode.
No, I got one more. You only took 4 games?
No, I took 5. I got 5. I'm 5.
Go fast.
I got Bengals plus 6.5, Panthers plus 6, Bucks plus 5.5. Oh, Steelers. I got to sneak that one in.
Yeah, you better sneak that one in. You don't have 5. Now you got 5.
Plus 3, Steelers. The steel curtain crashes down on Jason Daniels and the Commanders. The party's over. Plus 3. Take Pittsburgh on the road.
So that's funny because when I was making my pick, we're in a contest where we have to pick every game.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that game and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to take Washington. I've been down on the Steelers all year. I'm going to go with Washington, blah, blah, blah. And then I remembered to take a look at how I'm doing on these teams. And I said, oh my God, the worst team for me versus the spread is Washington.
Yeah. You're not commanding the Commanders.
Right. So I said, against all logic,
taking the curtain.
Take the Steelers. Yes.
Well,
you got Tomlin working for you, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah, I think
countdown. All right, my last pick, again, team that I've been good when I play on them. They won for me last week against Buffalo, the Miami Dolphins, playing against the team that I've been good playing against, which is the LA Rams.
Oh,
my pick is Miami.